to license it.
Meep, meep.
Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a Matchbox Nissan 300ZX. These were produced by Matchbox from 1990 to 1998, and it's come out in 16 different versions. This one with the disgusting pink and yellow decals on the side and a hot pink interior. So I'm going to make this a cosmetic job only to save it from those two disaster areas. The windshield and the wheels are good, so in the spirit of originality, I will try to keep those and probably closely match the dark teal paint. I think I can do that. And we'll do some detailing on the front and the back lights. This was a popular sports car in the day, and it was sold in Japan from 83 to 2001, and in the United States from 1984 to 96. The 300ZX name followed the numbering system that was initiated with the original 240Z, or Z, if you're watching from America right now. The addition of the letter X to the number in the name was a carryover from its predecessor, the 280ZX, to signify the presence of more luxury and comfort-oriented features. I don't know how comfortable it would be in a hot pink interior, but we'll take care of that. Sometimes when I look at these little bits, just with the naked eye, they look fine. Under the camera, and when I see it on the computer screen, that's when the little nicks and scratches show up. So I'm going to give some attention to that windshield, which I thought was better than it really is. But after the disassembly, we put it back into the bench vise, and I swap out the drill bit for a smaller 2mm to tap out these posts. And then I put a test screw in the front and the back just to make sure it fits well. This is to put it back together at the end of the process, but I want to ensure that everything is fine in the beginning, because after it's painted and clear coated, I don't want to have to get the drill out again. So it's a precautionary step, and I'll leave them in there during the paint stripping and the painting so the drilled out holes don't get clogged up with anything. And it's so far so good. It's going to be a pretty easy build today because I just really challenged myself with the last project, which was a BMW Cabrio broken into several pieces, and it required some body work and major windshield help. And so this is pretty well the end of the COVID-19 lockdown period, which has been 3 months for all of us here in Switzerland, and I'm back to work on Monday. That's tomorrow. So this is probably the last build, and I'm just giving myself a little treat and taking it easy. But I hope the finished product will look better than what we started with. Say goodbye to those ugly decals now. They are melting away into the hot, soapy water forever. I guess that was hot in the 90s. It looks pretty dated now. I thank you for tuning in to my channel. It's fairly new. As I said, I just started this hobby and the YouTube channel in mid-March, just when the lockdown started. So I've been able to punch out quite a bit of content. This is build number 47. And if you're here today, it's because you like mini cars or makeovers or Nissan cars. And if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I'd appreciate it if you'd become a new subscriber and hit the little icon in the bottom right corner of your screen and the notification bell so you'll know all about future content that gets uploaded. And I most especially enjoy your respectful comments that you leave. They're very helpful to someone like me who's still learning, and I watch other videos and pick up tips and tricks, but sometimes you write them in. Let me know what you find interesting or intriguing, and kindly let me know what I could do better, or tips, things that you do. Maybe it's faster or more efficient. And tell me where you're watching from. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just about finished giving all the interior bits a scrub up. That's just to make it clean content for me to work with. This windshield will get some detail a little bit later on. Notice the headlights are built into the front of that. It's kind of a cool thing that Matchbox did on this model. But first things first, we've got to give my attention to the hot pink Malibu Barbie interior, and I have just decided to go with black. This is actually some airbrush paint, but it serves the purpose today, and I'm using a recycled Coca-Cola bottle cap. Everything is useful and nothing goes to waste on my workbench. And I'm just going to sort of blob that on there. It'll take 2 coats, so the first one doesn't give 100% coverage, but lays down a base. When that's dried up, the second coat will be perfect. Unless you think I'm not OCD enough, yes, I paint the bottom of these too. Sometimes they show through the open wheel wells when the final model is assembled, and that would be tragic to have any traces of hot pink left in this car. So I'm just going to let that first coat dry, and I'll get back to that later, I promise, so that it's perfectly solid black when it's all done. After the paint stripping and a wash up in the laundry room tub with some more hot soapy water, it came out just about perfectly cleaned of paint. But I need to give attention to this. So out come the wire brushes and the very fine steel wool, and I'll keep the old school skills alive for this last car before my replacement Dremel finally gets picked up about a week from now. You know, Nissan aired a commercial during Super Bowl 24 in 1990 advertising the brand new Nissan 300ZX twin turbo. And the 60-second commercial was directed by Ridley Scott, but it only aired one time. And then the executives at Nissan pulled the commercial after the initial airing when they became concerned that the commercial would promote street racing because it showed the car being faster than a sport bike and an F1 race car and a fighter jet. It was a cool car back in the day. The 1990 300ZX Turbo was named Motor Trend magazine's Import Car of the Year, and Motor Trend also named it one of the top 10 performance cars. Automobile magazine named the 300ZX Turbo to its All-Stars list, and both Road and Track and Car and Driver magazines picked the 300ZX Turbo as one of the 10 best cars in the world. Quite a pedigree when you think about it. The base got a shot of black, and here's really close to the original dark teal color, just without the tacky racing stripes. And when you see a comparison with before and after at the very end of the video, I think you'll agree that's just about as close as you can come from the supply of spray cans that I have on hand at the moment. And that was just a tack coat that goes on. I cover up the spray booth to keep any fuzz out, and now I can give attention to the windshield detail, with increasingly finer and finer grades of wet dry sandpaper. I started with 600 or 800 and I finish up with 2500. That definitely takes out any little scratches and abrasions. And this is a pretty well universally accepted trick among the makeover artists, a dip into some floor polish. Gives it the added protection and a nice shine that you want. And that's looking almost new. This gives you an idea of how minuscule everything is when you're doing a makeover. That's my magnifying glass lamp and a camera between me and the car. I was lucky to hit that side view mirror with a toothpick. It's a pretty basic model, and these are the standard 3 or 4 pieces that need to go back together. And it's all going famously well without a hitch, and I just need to position the plastic base back on there, reinsert the 2 screws that were pre-drilled at the beginning, and I always love to hear this little click when I push that back in. It means everything fits perfectly. And car number 47 is in the history books and ready for the gift bag. A closer look shows the front headlights scrubbed up well. I put some fog lights and orange indicators on the side. The wheels didn't need a thing done to them. They were looking pretty good, just washed up. Taillights, vanity license plate for makeover number 47. The base didn't need a thing either, and that's the original teal color. Close as I could get. And a reminder of the hot look from the 90s. And chip paint and bright pink interior. Goodbye. Looking much classier now. So it was just a cosmetic job, but this was screaming for a facelift, a basic makeover, and that's what it got today. And I hope you enjoyed this video and you'll give it a thumbs up and that you'll come back real soon. It's coffee time.